parties in high school. I know a lot of kids growing up, have fond memories of that from their younger days. Do you have any memories of that?
Yeah. Well, I guess we were blessed to have some property.
I like that you used the word blessed.
So we had a lot of parties in the woods outside of Calumettville, but yeah, there's a couple weekends when my parents were gone. Had some huge parties at the house.
Uh-huh. So instead of the woods, you
in the winter, obviously
you have to go.
The woods.
Yeah.
So that's what we did, right? When the parents were gone, whoever's parents were gone, we'd go over there and.
Yeah, it's funny. Like,
I don't know how we got beer though.
I remember like in high school, I took the spare tire out of my Ford Escort, so that I'd have a place to stash a case of beer, and then that worked until I got a flat tire, and then my dad almost killed me because there's no excuse for not having a spare.
Yeah.
So there's one party we were talking about before we started recording that there's one story that I wanted you to relate. I said you had to talk about it, so you might as well tell the listeners.
I'm trying to remember exactly when it was. I think it was probably my senior year. I think it was probably the winter, February, and for some reason my parents left. I don't know where they went.
Probably were just like they're like, you know what, Clayton and Duncan need to have a party.
Yeah.
It's time.
It's been a while. And I don't know how the word got out, but I think it seemed like there was a couple hundred people there. It was a huge party.
Right, and this is before social media.
Yeah, exactly. I remember getting kind of worried because there was people there that I had never seen before. But everybody was having fun, and it was, I think I was playing poker in the kitchen, on the kitchen table with some folks. And I remember seeing somebody standing in front of me looking into the dining room and with this look of amazement and just sheer terror on their faces. And I remember thinking, this is not going to end well. And then there was a loud crash, and evidently some folks had been dancing on the dining room table. Now, I don't know who it was, but the name that keeps coming up is TJ Schmitz. And I think there was a couple other people as well, but that's just hearsay. I
swear.
See
so I was there.
Yeah.
I don't think I was at a ton of your parties, but I was there, and I was close to the action. I can't remember. You know how memory plays tricks on you. I can't remember who else was on the table, because
I remember the song.
I swear that TJ was doing. He did that like funny Russian dance or whatever the hell it was. Like he was doing that dance on the table. I swear. That's what I remember. And then just a big crash.
Yeah. I remember the song that was playing.
What was the song?
Mickey, Mickey, you're so fine.
That sounds about right.
So that ended the party. I remember throwing everybody out, and the table had kind of split in half. And I think the next morning, it might have been that night too. Some screws popped out, so I popped them back in, and it wasn't that big a deal. So that part I hid from my parents, but they knew I had a party because when they got home, the floors were immaculate, and I had cleaned everything up, and they knew something was wrong.
Right. They probably knew before they even left. I had 2 parties in high school, both of which I got caught for, both of which I got in trouble for, But I don't remember if it was the first or the second one, where it was the second one because I had everybody in the basement that time because I learned at least to keep them in the basement so shit doesn't get broken. And it worked pretty well, But the whole basement just smelled like stale beer, So I went up to B&B Express the next day, and I basically bought them out of car air fresheners and hung all of them in our basement. That was my solution.
Did it work?
No. Absolutely. I mean, the whole basement smelled like a car air freshener,
okay.
Like it smelled good. But it didn't do anything to get rid of the stale beer smell. It just covered it up. Yeah. And my parents were like, why does it smell so good in the basement and so strong? 17-year-old solution,
So my parents didn't find out about the dining room table until about 5 years later when they were sitting next to Jesse Beekle, and he told them the story, so I hid it for as long as I could. But it ended.
I feel like 5 years, statute of limitations is expired by then anyway. It's like for such a minor crime, it's something you laugh about it by then.
Which I got to tell you this story too. I think my sophomore year in college, I took some folks back home with me. Some of my buddies from the baseball team and some of my the guys I was living with. So I think there was about four guys that came home, and we were looking for something to do, and we got the shotguns out, and we're shooting stuff in the backyard. And we went down.
What kind of stuff? Like cans or squirrels?
Stationary objects. Some bottles filled with gasoline. But we went down to Haymauer's Country Store and Pipe to buy some ammunition. So they had the shotgun shells right next to the bread.
No.
You could get anything you needed there.
No.
Haymauer's. Yeah.
Wow.
And that night, we had some people over. And they were amazed that everybody that showed up had a case of beer.
Like they brought a case of beer.
They brought their own beer. And I remember that being the same way in high school. I mean, people would just show up with
beer.
cases of beer.
It's definitely part of the culture.
Yeah.